Hello again. A little over a week after the Southport murders, a spurious message began circulating on social media which supposedly threatened 100 far-right demonstrations all on one day across the whole nation. Most sensible folk realised at once by the grammar, syntax and general tone of the thing that this was a hoax and that nobody was really planning 100 far-right protests across the country at all, or indeed even one. It was nonsense. It was a false rumour. So febrile was the atmosphere at that time, though, that many left-wing people were keen to take this idea at face value, and among those who were either very gullible or who wished to maintain a feeling of emergency and disorder and anger against the right wing was Waltham Forest Council. They joined in enthusiastically and were party to organising an anti-racist protest on August the 7th, the day of the supposed 100 right-wing demonstrations. According to Waltham Forest Council, it was to protect them, it was to stand up to fascism, and they were going to mobilise people to occupy the streets to show the fascists that they weren't welcome there. Waltham Forest helped mobilise thousands of people, which many people would say was irresponsible with the mood being what it was, and feelings running so high. There was so much anger about misinformation circulating on social media at this time that it might have been better for them to check carefully what they were about. As it was, the council whipped up feeling and had everybody stirred up with cries of "They shall not pass," as though this were Madrid during the Spanish Civil War. It would of course be remembered that this was a time when people were being sent to prison for repeating false rumours which had been found on social media. This didn't seem to apply to Waltham Forest. It was okay for the council to start spreading rumours about stuff that they'd come across on social media. They were responsible, of course, for what happened next, after warning people that far-right activists were going to descend upon Walthamstow. People flocked to the area all over London to stand against racism and fascism. One of those who travelled a considerable distance to get to Walthamstow because he had been so angered and worked up by the untruthful story which the council was spreading was a man called Ricky Jones, who was a local councillor in Dartford, on the other side of London. He was so excited by what Waltham Forest was claiming was planned that he gave a speech to a large crowd and was filmed saying, "They are disgusting fascists and we need to cut all their throats and get rid of them all." To many people that sounded very much like an incitement to murder, but he was charged only with encouraging violent disorder. The difference in the way that he was treated, the way in which white people charged with much less serious offences, similar offences in the north of England, was very striking. Most of those men and women were arrested, brought before the courts within 48 hours, and sent straight to prison. Ricky Jones, who is incidentally black, is on bail and not due to stand trial until January the 20th, almost 6 months after the alleged offence. I think that's what they call two-tiered justice. Waltham Forest Council have seemingly forgotten all about this now because in an email newsletter sent to local residents, they announce a royal welcome because the King and Queen are visiting. They say that King and Queen will attend a reception at the Town Hall on Friday the 20th of December to celebrate the cohesion of the borough's community following a peaceful anti-racism protest in August 2024, where thousands of Waltham Forest residents came together to demonstrate the true community spirit of the borough. The true community spirit of the borough, that is, stirred up by a false story actively encouraged by the local authority, which created an atmosphere in which people worked up enough to encourage the cutting of throats.